Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we're going to talk about Doctor Who Season 10, Episode 10, 11,
11.
Episode 11. It's called World Enough and Time. I didn't think about that before I started. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. This is the first of a two-part season finale, essentially, and Stephen Moffat is at the helm of the writing room for this one.
As he typically does for the finales.
Yeah, yeah. And it's basically about the crew. They're giving Missy like a sort of test run as being the Doctor, which is where a lot of the fun of the episode comes with her. But my favourite line of the entire episode is when she introduces Bill and Nardole, and she says, "These are my disposables, exposition and comic relief." And
yeah.
that cracked me up because that was such a meta joke.
Yeah. She's a very meta character.
Yeah, that was really funny. I liked that a lot.
Like her whole thing of, pointing out the Doctor Who as well. Like, it's very meta.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
That one though I thought was a bit on the nose.
I did at first, but then they played it up and it became an actual joke.
Okay.
And I appreciate it more.
That's fair. That's fair. But the episode, they're on this ship that's sort of this giant ship that's gravitating towards a black hole, and because of that, there's some weird timey things where anyone who's at the back of the ship is moving at a different rate of time to people who are
Yeah,
close.
because the ship's like 400 miles long.
It's basically Inception, not Inception, Interstellar, another Nolan movie.
Yeah.
It's basically the
Yeah.
Interstellar thing.
I mean, to be fair, there is some time dilation in Inception too.
True, yeah.
But, it's just like being on
layers.
different levels.
Fair. But this is more to do with a black hole, which is why I'm really thinking of Interstellar.
It is. It's a very similar concept once you actually say it.
Yeah. Belle gets shot because she gets taken with these mysterious people who live at the bottom of the ship, and she's down there in the much quicker time. So time's barely moving at the front of the ship where the Doctor is with Missy and Nardole, but she's like having weeks and weeks and months go by as she's waiting for them to come and get her. And there's a little bit of mystery. It turns out this is kind of the origin of the Cybermen. This process that they're making people go through so they can survive. Because the back end of the ship's been there for centuries at this point, and it's like old, and it's all been polluted and all the rest of it. So it's like, oh, we can't survive as human beings. We have to upgrade. So this is like the really cheesy, early-looking Cybermen they're turning into. And that's kind of
Foundations.
Yeah, the big twist at the end, of course, is that Bill herself, they're too late. Bill's already become a Cyberman. Kind of thing, as well, of course, as the weird sort of homeless looking dude who's helping her all episode. Now, I kind of predicted where this was going, but I still wasn't prepared for the Scooby-Doo moment of it actually happening.
Same.
And the funny thing is when we watch Sherlock, I won't get too specific because we don't want to spoil Sherlock because it's a different show, but I remember I was talking about how we almost expected something to happen in Sherlock that was similar to this. So when I started laughing my head off when he pulls the face off and it's the Master.
Do you know what the thing is? It's last time he was introduced as the Master, we had him as a different face as well. If you recall, it was the end of the universe. You were not alone, Dr. Yana, and it was. I was expecting, is it the same sort of thing? Is he pulling another trick? But no, this is literally he's just got a mask on, and I kind of love it, as cheesy as it is.
It kind of. Why is he wearing a mask?
It's a good question because I mean, no, Bill would recognise him
Why would Bill recognise him?
because he was Prime Minister. He was a public official. He was the Prime Minister while she would have been on Earth. She would recognise him.
So you're saying that he just started wearing the mask then?
Perhaps.
He wasn't already just wearing this mask working as this janitor did with everyone else?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure on that part. I don't know. I'm hoping it gets cleared up in the next episode. But I love what it did. I love it was there.
I'm not a huge fan of the moment. It's actually kind of like I like the whole "oh, you don't remember being here" thing. Like when he's talking to Missy, like I like that part of it. The actual mask coming off felt kind of goofy to me.
It was, but yeah, my favorite moment is when she's pointing the gun at him and he says you wouldn't be so self-destructive. It's I was like, I'd already figured it out at that point. I was like, I know where this is going, but I love that line anyway.
Yeah, I'm hit and miss in this episode. Like, there's some stuff that I really like about it.
I love everything about it.
You love everything about it.
This is by far my favorite episode of the season. It's probably my favorite episode since Heaven Sent, which was the same time last season. That was the one where he was in the vault thing on the loop. And that was the episode of that season. It was probably Moffat's finest episode.
Don't get me wrong. I think this is easily. I mean, Honestly, most of this season's been kind of lukewarm at best. Like I like the trilogy with the monks, but all the standalone episodes for the most part have not been that special, and some of them have been downright bad. The last couple were kind of weak, especially the Mars one. Uh, this is definitely much better than that. I really like the whole it flashback to him convincing Bill to like go along with this plan. Like, yeah, let's try and test her and do
Yeah.
this and. Uh,
I can't wait for the guilt to come up, because obviously she keeps hearing the wait for me that he says that he puts into her subconscious. And so that's why she doesn't really try and break out, and then that's what obviously leads to her becoming the
so,
Cyberman.
what Deus Ex Machina are we expecting for him to reverse this?
I'm not. There's been a lot of rumors about how Bill's not coming back next season. Obviously, new showrunner, new doctor. There's been a lot of talk about how we'll have a new companion, just a fresh start. So,
That is
part of me hopes they stick with it.
See, I don't.
Well, no, I mean in the sense that if we are getting rid of Bill, regardless,
Which,
I
yeah,
feel
don't get me wrong. Like, I agree with that idea. Like, 'cause typically I get annoyed when they don't stick with it. I even complained about like if Missy becomes good, if they just throw it away later. I'd rather they stuck with it because that's more interesting. My problem with this though is that I like Bill a lot and I don't want her to go away. Although I understand that with the new showrunner, she's probably just going to be gone anyway.
it's just a casualty of the change. Yeah.
I don't. This is the weakness for the episode for me. I like everything else about it. I like the flashbacks to her being convinced. I like the fun with Missy doing her thing and like all the witty lines. I like the master to a point, although the actual mask coming off moment didn't really work for me. Bill becoming the Cyberman, I don't think was built up enough. Like when she kind of stepped out, and I'm like, I kind of guessed it was already her. I just kind of went, oh, I guess she's a Cyberman now. I never felt the anticipation of like she was in that much danger. Like it felt too casual all episode.
I don't know. I love it that she's essentially the first Cyberman.
It, sure, but what I'm saying is from before that though, it didn't feel like a big enough episode to have this dramatic an ending where she's basically ended her life and she's now a Cyberman.
See, I disagree because right from when she got shot, I was wondering, is this where they stick with it? Is this where they go? And when she was down there, obviously, I knew Cybermen were coming in because that's outside knowledge and just things like that. And I think it's perfectly guessable. Just when we got to they say conversion.
It's guessable because the things are there to line up. But I mean, in a dramatic sense, it doesn't feel like it actually was a big episode for her. Otherwise.
I see what you're saying.
It didn't feel like it treated it with the same kind of weight that I would expect if like this. There's a certain character who dies in the spin-off to the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, quite early on, and the entire episode, when you go back and watch it again, it feels like the entire thing is this touching.
It's their episode.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying.
And here it doesn't feel like that. It just kind of feels like, oh, this is just the plot point at the end because we need to get to the Doctor Who shenanigans.
Again, I think that stuff is kind of coming next week. I think that all that stuff that to do with her kind of having to this being the final end of her perhaps will come in the moments of the what comes about next week rather than it being here.
You might be right, but I never felt the build up to it, and as a result, the ending for me played just kind of cheap.
Okay.
Like, isn't this cool? She's the first Cyberman, and I'm like, this feels like a Moffat concept. Moffat's had this idea, he's really proud of it, and he's sitting there with his pen, he's like, oh, I'm going to... Why he's writing with a pen, I don't know. He's a writer, he's a bit of a computer, but he's like with his pens like, oh, I've got this great idea, it's so...
He's definitely there at a typewriter.
Yeah, it's so, like, twisty and turny, it's like... Because he loves to, like, fold things in themselves, and, like...
He does, yeah.
It was this all along, I make it more complicated, and... That's fine once in a while when it's built up properly, but he does it so often that a lot of the time I just kind of roll my eyes and go, yeah, you're full of shite.
Moffat gonna Moffat.
Exactly, yeah. And that felt like this to me. This felt like Moffat going to Moffat. That's what the ending felt like to me.
Yeah, I can't. I really enjoyed it, but I can't argue with Moffat's Moffat and again because Moffat.
That's what it felt like. And
do you know what? It's at a point where the common saying of because Batman. Let's just explain things. I think that can be applied to Moffat just because Moffat.
But between this and between the last season of Sherlock, I'm really not a fan of the guy.
I think this is where I'm like, I'm so torn on him. He gets so convoluted at times, and like you say, he has an idea and he bends over backwards and he changes everything to fit this idea, regardless of whether or not it should work or not. Yeah. But then he can pull out. So every so often he pulls out something phenomenal, like Heaven Sent last year, which
Yeah, well,
is
that's the thing. He has these great ideas that there's great parts to what he does. But like you say, the build up to it and then the stuff after it often will be forced to make it fit, and he doesn't actually. It basically it feels like he cheats.
he does. Yeah,
It's just constant cheating. He doesn't actually spend the time to actually make things work together. And as a result, you watch it, it just feels like, oh, anything can happen. Everything's wishy-washy. It's like watching a show that's about magic. But it shouldn't be. It's science fiction. But it feels kind of that way.
That explains why you dislike this so much.
Yeah, it just feels like, oh, this just happens without any weight to it. This can just happen. Which is why I hate magic. I hate things. It's just click of the fingers. It's done.
Yeah, you really do hate that, don't you?
I despise it. And all the episodes, all the Doctor Who I don't like typically has that element to it.
Yeah, but see, here I think it was a bit different because I thought like I got from the start when she was down there, like she was doomed to become a Cyberman. I think, like she had the heart replaced. Yeah, she had the chest piece, and it was like, yeah, you don't need to be fully upgraded yet. And the whole time I was just waiting to see, right, when she broken enough that they're gonna do it. And so I did feel like there was a
That's the
build
thing,
to
though.
it.
You say when she's broken enough. I don't feel like there was that descent.
Well, that's it. I thought that's where they twisted my expectations. They did it when she was at her most hopeful. Because they did it when she was like, she thought, oh, I'm finally getting out. I'm finally going to meet the Doctor. And that's when they did it. So they actually really twisted it for me. So I enjoyed that.
Nah, it didn't work for me. I don't have anything else to add. I've explained my case.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me.
Like I said, I was expecting it to be, watching these years or months, whatever it was, of her breaking down. But you kind of see her keep faith in the Doctor all this time. Like I say, she keeps seeing, wait for me. And she does. And she finally gets to the point where she's like, right, he's coming for me. I'm going for it.
I think that would have worked, though, if she had gotten more distraught, but still had hope. Like, things got really hard, but she still almost like was praying to her God almost, but in this case it's the Doctor, like, please, you need to get here.
It could have gone further with it, yeah.
Yeah, it never felt like it got to that point. It felt like she was sitting around in her pyjamas eating cereal. Because she was.
Yeah, the closest it got was, when she goes to leave. And I thought that was a really effective scene, actually.
Yeah, it was
where
fine.
she just got, I think that's what they were trying to get at. I think, like you say, they didn't go far enough with it, but there was just enough there that it worked for me.
Yeah. So that was good. Another small little funny moment I liked was earlier on when it's like, oh, Nardal's already agreed to do this, and he's like, no, I didn't. Well, he did in my head, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah, there's lots of good funny stuff in this, actually.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of my thing of the whole season up until this point is, other than a couple of highlights, it has mostly been kind of a mediocre season. In some cases, downright bad, like the Mars episode. And I feel like what's kept us going through all of it is the character interactions. It's been Bill and the Doctor, and then Nardal. More recently, he's been popping in the missions a lot more. Their interactions, but what's kept it kind of fun. At least when I don't like the plot, I'm still into them kind of bantering. And it almost feels like by doing this and actually doing a serious plot where something actually happens to them, which I should be praising, but it just almost feels out of nowhere. Like everything's been so lighthearted and fluffy, and then all of a sudden there's stakes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like it's built up to the same extent.
As a season pacing, you mean? It hasn't built to it. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it feels like maybe if the 3-parter was just before this, that trilogy, that might have felt like it led into it a bit better. Possibly. Rather than those extra 2 episodes. I liked the second one more than you did.
Yeah, I think
we agreed on the Mars one, but
yeah.
I think they don't lead into this one as well.
I am definitely ready for a new showrunner. I'm really upset to lose Bell because I really like her. I like Capaldi as well, but I'm ready for someone.
At least Capaldi got a few years out of it. I would have liked more. Don't get me wrong, but at least he got a few years out of it. Bill could have done with more of. Not gonna disagree with that.
She got 12 episodes. That's it. And
yeah, because I don't know if she'll be there for companions. Typically aren't there for the Christmas one as a rule.
Oh, it's also worth
there's
mentioning.
A couple of exceptions.
We started the episode with a little tease of them regenerating, which obviously is going to be picked up in the next one.
Yeah, did you watch the next time?
Nah, I didn't.
I won't go into it much, but the final shot of the next time is just a close up on his hand doing the regeneration bit.
Well,
so just to confirm they are.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what's interesting again though, because obviously they've been telling us the whole time, Christmas. That's when you get into regeneration. Christmas. Then we got that tease at the start of the season, in the upcoming on this season, and then they swerved us.
Which is exactly why I think they can't do it again. If they swerve us a second time in the same season,
it'll feel cheap. Yeah.
So
No, I agree. But it's if this is the regeneration, I will be impressed that they kept it under wrap, like genuinely kept it under wraps, because everyone was like, "Yeah, Christmas, fine, we believe that. We have no reason not to." So yeah, I'm impressed with that. I mean, they spoiled everything else. I mean, we knew the Master, we knew about the Sad Men before the season started.
yeah, did we really need to see in the next time on last week that the Master was in this one? I mean, really?
Not really. I
We,
mean, we didn't really need to see that at the start of the season. We didn't need to know that beforehand. But
We didn't need to know it at all, but the fact that it was actually saying last week, no, it's next week's episode, you're going to see him. It just, I mean, as much as you kind of figured out that it was going to be him just before it, would that not have felt more exciting if we didn't just know he was definitely in this episode?
yeah, it's
You'd have that moment where you go, oh, we're about to get the Master, because you wouldn't have known he was in this episode.
that's it. I hate that they had to reveal it at all before the season, but I at least appreciate that that was probably someone got the story, it was going to come out, they wanted to control the story on their own terms. I can appreciate that at least. But they didn't need to put it in the next time.
No, they really didn't. It's a really weird choice to do it. But here we go. So, now that's the first half of the season finale. Hopefully the last one lives up to things. But even if the last episode is amazing, I feel like the season as a whole was already kind of rough overall.
I don't know. Feels like a season of Doctor Who. So for me, that's perfectly fine. This is what I get into, and this is what I've loved about it for a long time now. Just sometimes those simple, enjoy like little adventures. That's the fun of the show for me.
I don't think we're up to snuff though compared to other seasons.
It kind of falls middle of the road. I don't know. Like I said, that every season for me has an awful episode.
Oh sure, but I feel like there was just a lot of mediocre ones this season.
Yeah, you disliked a few of them a lot more than me, though. Like, because I was a lot more positive on a good bunch of them.
Well, yeah, sure.
So mediocre for you, it was. Yeah, it's pretty good for me.
Okay. I definitely think 9 was better though, just off the top of my head.
Yeah, probably was. Yeah.
Good. Glad we've.
I mean, like I said, it's been a while since I watched it, but yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like none of the standalone episodes, because usually, well, like you say, there's usually an awful one, but there's usually one or two that are really stand out and really go, oh, that was a great standalone episode.
That's true.
And I feel like this season's not had that.
Yeah, I do feel a lot of those. It's often these first seasons with a companion that are those episodes where, because we're getting to know them rather than having standout episodes. But it kind of feels neutered when we're probably only getting the one season with her.
Yeah.
So it is a bit of a shame in that sense.
There you go. That is the this week's episode of Doctor Who. Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mail_fuzz for channel updates. Individual Twitters are on the screen. Check out patreon.com/mailfuzztv if you want to support the channel. But otherwise, guys, that is us. So thank you once again for watching. We'll see you next time. Have you got any vanilla?